Maxroll here. Today we're going to be going over a Bloodshot Vex build in Borderlands 4. This is entirely centered around the Undead Eye class mod, its interaction with every sniper rifle in the game, in the skill Bloodshot. This allows sniper rifles to do things like this, which is great several thousand damage, fire over 100 shots without reloading. It's awesome, destroys bosses, phenomenal for mobbing, so let's just jump in and show off how this build works. Now the most important thing is of course our skill tree. We're centered around Bloodshot, which is a skill. This does not really benefit too much from gun damage conversion. Gun damage is nice, but we don't really need it. So I'm going to make some choices that might seem a little bit weird, but it's all to scale Bloodshot and the Bloodshot damage, which is the majority of our damage. Grave Sights is good, does negatively impact us with the gun handling right now, because gun handling currently negatively impacts your projectile speed. Once this gets fixed, this build gets better, but we still want Grave Sights for the time being because of the critical hit damage and the other tier 1 skills aren't that good. Grave Implements gives us more gun damage. Bloodletter is strictly better. It is just better. However, I don't want to use it on this build right now because Bloodletter is currently infinitely scaling itself. Once this gets fixed, I will absolutely be speccing Bloodletter because this will scale with things like Keen Mind, like Ars Arcana, and scale off our Bloodshot when it critically hits to build a ton of damage. But for now, it definitely scales. I don't want to use it for this build. I'm not using it for any of the speed kills you see. You don't see any of the bleed ticks. Grab it if you want it, but for now, I'm going Grave Implements. Target Persistence and Great Power are here for general, just sort of quality of life. Helps auto-proc kill skills through Mortal Terror, gives us more kill skill stacks for Grave Sights, and also Witchy Trigger Finger. Despite Witchy Trigger not being a kill skill, it does benefit from Great Power. Keen Mind gives Bloodshot a chance to crit. We're picking up Vibe Check to make our Eldritch Blast to ricochet and come back a little bit quicker. This stacks Witchy Trigger Finger faster. Witchy Trigger Finger is really nice for the reload more than the damage. Ars Arcana gives us more skill damage. Bloodshot's our entire build, so getting more damage on Bloodshot is really good. I do take it for the time being over Grave Vitality because Grave Vitality can be a little bit inconsistent. So it's more you pick your poison. If you want more consistency, Ars Arcana. If you want higher damage potential, take Grave Vitality. It's not really needed for the time being. Everything just melts. Essence Leech is our lifesteal and survivability. Also feeds into Blood is Power for a little bit more flat gun damage. Our last 3 points are going into Grave Sustenance to give us more action skill sustain. This allows Incarnate to stay up for really, really long periods of times at mobbing. Not needed at all for bossing. Now for specializations. Quick note, I did join a game, did some wildcards, and I got my specializations bugged by someone in there modding levels. So very cool. I only had 61 points invested for all these kills. So I basically just grabbed what's needed. Honestly, I don't think anything in this tree outside of the survivor, the best defense, is really that crazy. Now caffeine's really good for replenishing our action skill, and I kind of just grabbed Riddle you this because it's probably the best here. Nothing else really stood out to me in terms of grabbing. We don't really need that much more damage. You can grab Overkill. It's probably fine. You can grab one shot, one kill. It's probably fine. Kind of pick your poison with the last one. I think now with caffeine, best defense is a must. A little bit extra survivability is nice. Once you pick up these, you should absolutely dump the rest of your points in the killer because this gives critical hit damage. We like critical hit damage on this build. Now for the fun part of the gear. The most important weapon on this build is the Finity. This is this game's version of the Infinity. It has a limited amount of ammo and only is infinite ammo while it is overheating. This is what we'll base some of our later decisions around in the build. But very powerful sniper rifle, fires really fast, really good for proccing Bloodshot, And I also got a phosphine version, so I got the shiny weapon skin. Very lucky, it looks really nice. The other really, really good weapon is the bod. You might think, this is a shotgun on a sniper rifle build. What are you doing? Well, the bod has a perk where it counts as everything. So, because of that, we can use this as a skull masher. If you're familiar with other Borderlands games, skull masher, really awesome sniper rifle that shoots multiple shots. This is doing several 100,000 damage every single shot. It also solves our ammo issues by being a dataless weapon, and you can use it either in shotgun mode or an assault rifle SMG mode or pistol mode to get more ammo capacity. Because your sniper rifles are so limited on the ammo, this allows you to proc Bloodshot with other stuff. Really, really good weapon. These two are the absolute bread and butter of the build. Other sniper rifles I'm going to mention are just nice. Now moving into some honorable mentions for sniper rifles. The Borsta Ballista is really awesome. It hits really hard. It's weird with the splitting projectiles, and you can utilize the negative projectile speed to have the split faster. It's fine. The stopgap. Couple things I want to note about this. This is absolutely the hardest hitting sniper rifle in the game with Bloodshot. It's doing 1.2 million damage on a single hit. It is less DPS than Affinity, but if you want a really, really big number with Bloodshot, you use the stopgap. It's pretty awesome. You get it with Jacob's parts. Another thing to note is underbarrels do work on sniper rifles to proc Bloodshot. As you can see, Bloodshot is constantly going off there when I'm using the underbarrel. So take a look out for any underbarrels on sniper rifles. Very good to have. Moving into some other really honorable mentions. The Stray is a very good, powerful sniper rifle. This has auto-tracking bullets. It is Ripper. I know people don't like Ripper very much, but you can get this with Jacob's parts, get it to ricochet, proc more bloodshots, and you can be taking out enemies without even having to aim. Very nice to have. The Midnight Defiance, this is probably the best mopping sniper. Here, I'll show it off. However, this is a Twitch drop, so I don't really know if this is going to be, like, obtainable in the future, but you can chain off every single mob in the game and just have a bunch of ricochets and everything's taking several 100,000 damage. It's awesome. I don't expect you to have this for the build. There's not a current way to obtain this like the like how you can get the Forsaken Chaos and the First Impression from World Drops. Never seen this thing as a World Drop. Never seen this thing in the Legendary Vending Machine either. Other really good weapons. The Fisheye is fine on this build. Root isn't that great. The Truck hits really, really hard. It's probably the most consistent big hit for Bloodshot. You'll see this thing constantly hit for like 400,000 damage, which is pretty cool. Boom Slang needs a buff. Basically just allow it to have the first shot of the magazine proc its special effect, because you can have this thing hit for several 100,000 on every single ricochet. It's awesome. You can absolutely clear a bunch of high HP targets in one shot using this, but Witchy Trigger Figure not working with this kind of sucks. Katagawa's Revenge is nice for having the shock mode proc bloodshots for you. Only the main projectile can actually consume your bloodshot, but you will constantly be proccing bloodshot even if you're not hitting something. Nice to have for that. Going over non-weapon pieces of gear, the triple bypass is absolutely the best rep kit for this build. You get 3 charges, which you can use with the Now with Caffeine specialization perk to get your action skill back really faster whenever it does eventually fall off. But also, 3 charges means you get 3 manual activations of Bloodshot whenever you want. This can be really good if you're using something like a Borsta Ballista or a Truck to manually proc a shot of Bloodshot on your first hit and then destroy a high HP target. For the special, or for the other random rolls, I'd recommend Enrage, because this will buff the damage of Bloodshot. Amp is really good, but it doesn't buff the Bloodshot damage, it just buffs the base damage of the weapon. For Ordnance, you can use literally whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. This is the slot that matters the least in the build, because we are not centered around Ordnance at all. I will say Swarm's nice, general purpose Ordnance. It'll kill some stuff. It's fine. The best piece here is the throwing knife, obviously, with Penetrator Augment, because this will basically double the damage of the build. Having Bloodshot automatically critical hit is insanely powerful. All the boss kills can be done significantly faster if I use this knife. I wanted to make a build that does not require you to have this throwing knife, because I do expect this knife to get nerfed, because it just invalidates so much of the game's critical hit mechanics. So if you have it, throw it on. You could honestly spec this build around the knife and take out stuff from the enhancement, like you don't need the auto crit on COV. So you ordnance you can use whatever, really doesn't matter too much. Our class mod is of course the Undead Eye. You want as many points as you can get into Bloodshot. This also rolls with points into uh, the skill Infernal Sum, which I do think is really good here. Also rolls points into Guns and Needles. Do not need this at all. Our rep kit that we're using, the triple bypass, has this effect, but better, automatically built in. And Blood is Power is also on this. I don't think it's as strong as getting the extra critical hit damage for your Bloodshot, but honestly, it's fine. Most important thing here is as many points of Bloodshot as you can get. For the passives, this can roll with kinetic damage. This is significantly better than sniper rifle damage, because kinetic damage scales the Bloodshot. I do think damage reduction is solid to have here, but honestly, the passives aren't going to make or break the build. Most important thing here is the Bloodshot. Our shield is the Timekeeper's new shield. This, luckily, has almost no RNG associated with it, other than getting the item to drop. Really good, doubles our HP capacity. Our Bloodshot is based on our maximum HP, so having this, phenomenal. For our enhancements, there are a couple things to go over. Most important thing is the duct tape on COV. This is what enables 100% crit chance for the affinity while it is overheated and has its infinite ammo. This gives you a 1 in 3 chance to proc Bloodshot on every single shot without requiring aim. This is how I kill bosses without crit spots exposed, such as Inceptus or the Back Hive. Those don't have critical hits, so you can get 100% crit chance without using a crit knife to melt bosses with this COV enhancement. The other effect I have on it on this legendary is Smelter. This gives you more fire rate. Good to have. I do believe that Ventilator is better because this gives you more time when you are overheated. Honestly, only thing you really need is the duct tape here. Everything else, cherry on top. For enhancements I use when I'm mobbing, I typically use a Jacob's enhancement with extra chances to crit. This one's kind of nicely rolled because I get a bunch of mag size. I like mag size, it's convenient. But a legendary Jacob's enhancement with chance to crit and an extra ricochet is probably the best thing to use on this. I will say the firmware for your enhancement doesn't really matter outside of having the heating up, as we'll discuss in a bit. It's sort of just pick whatever. Trick shot's probably nice. High caliber to give you the projectile speed back. It's really whatever. Uh, the other enhancement I'll shout out is a Vladoff with the bullet hose. This gives a chance to fire an extra projectile on Vladoff weapons, such as the Affinity or the Stopgap or the Midnight Defiance if you get one. It gives you a extra chance to proc Bloodshot, which the entire build's around. So it's nice to have. I do think Jacob is better because the ricochet is going around and the extra chances to crit, even if you hit a body shot. It's just nice to have. Now, talking about firmware, I will say that we should start with heating up. This is mainly here for the bossing, the second tier effect that gives you 50% more shots before breaking. Really, really powerful effect with Affinity. Otherwise, the extra reload speed you get for the One Piece is really good. It is the highest bit of reload speed you get in the game. Nice to have. Deadeye is phenomenal. It's what you'll see on a lot of builds because, not because of the first 2 points. Those are nice. Little cherries on top. But the third, 3-piece bonus is critical hits give you more critical hit damage. This is 75% critical hit damage and applies to everything. This is a whole lot more damage for Bloodshot, since we'll pretty much have this, well, you will have this at 5 shots because of how fast you're firing the Affinity, and 5 shots of Affinity is nothing. So you get more Bloodshot damage. Great. Alright, so that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this Bloodshot Vex. The sniper rifles are really fun to play with here in BL4, and they're only going to get better as more snipers are added. Sure, some of the legendaries could use a little bit of up, mainly looking at the boom slang. It probably just needs some interaction fixes. I'll leave some footage here of a Ripper drill site running so you can see how it does in mobbing. I think it does pretty well, pretty survivable, even in UVHM 5 mobbing. Killing stuff pretty quick, not really dying, don't have an ammo issue because of the bot. Yeah, I think this is one of Vex's best builds. I will go on record and say great bossing. I like this build a lot. This is my main Vex build, so just wanted to share it because I'm destroying stuff on Vex, and I haven't really seen people do this crazy of stuff on a sniper Vex. So hope you enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you have the great rest of your day. See ya.